Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here with Lieutenant Governor Matos, Emergency Management Director Mark Pappas, and our team to update the Rhode Islanders on a Hurricane Henri and the state around-the-clock effort to ensure we are prepared. So it has moved to a Hurricane 1 status. Just a quick note of thanks to all of you for your patience, and as we shifted the time to today's press conference, I just got off a call with President Biden, with other Northeast governors, state. Not only during the hurricane, but also in the days and weeks afterwards as we deal with the cleanup. We also took the opportunity after talking to some people on the coast, especially in the Westerly area, that were really impacted by Hurricane Sandy, to make a point to the President that not only do we need help during the hurricane, but also as we recover from the hurricane, and in particular to the people on the coast with the small businesses that will need help, along with every resident in the state of Rhode Island that will be impacted. As of this morning, the storm has officially strengthened to a Category 1 hurricane. I want Rhode Islanders to really hear that. We are now preparing for a Category 1 hurricane. We know that all of Rhode Island has seen a hurricane like this since land reached land 30 years ago. So we consider this a serious matter, and we want everybody in the state of Rhode Island to consider it serious as well. While the hurricane has shifted west, Rhode Island is still in the track to receive significant impacts from this storm. So what does this mean? It means that starting tomorrow, Rhode Island is expected to see damaging winds, significant flooding, storm surge, and extended power surges. Many outages are going to be realized. People are going to be without electricity. Right now, our emergency management team, the National Guard, State Police, Rhode Island Red Cross, and the National Grid, and many partners are moving forward full speed ahead to put Rhode Island in the best possible position during this hurricane and after the hurricane. Together, we are mobilized. We have resources in place, and we are in constant contact with federal partners, including the White House, FEMA, and the Coast Guard. Along with all our municipal leaders, we had a call again with all our municipal leaders and first responders that represent each one of our 39 cities and towns earlier today. Another important note, the American Red Cross will be opening 5 regional shelters beginning tonight at 8 p.m. The list is as follows: the Providence Career and Tech, Pilgrim High School in Warwick, South Kingstown High School, McKee Middle School in Cumberland, and that's a shift from the high school, so that's a point to be made for people in that area, my hometown. It's going to McKee Middle School, and Gaudette Middle School in Middletown. The shelters will be open to all individuals needing a safe place to shelter from the storm. Water and food will be provided. Masks will be required in the shelter at all times, and COVID-19 precautions will be closely followed. Masks will be required at all times in these shelters. My message to you, Rhode Island, is that now is the time to prepare. I know the weather is nice today. I know it's a Saturday. But we need everyone to take the time now to be ready to stay home tomorrow when conditions worsen. Get your family prepared. Check in on grandparents and older adults. Make sure they have everything that they need today. We have time to prepare, and we need to use it wisely. The best thing that you can do for you and your family, beginning at midnight tonight, is stay home through Monday morning. We urge you to stay home and stay safe. Here's what should be on your checklist. Secure your home, bring in lawn furniture, get supplies like extra food and water, charge your phones, your laptops, and other electronic devices. Prepare emergency power sources like flashlights and generators, and those on the coast who have not already secured their boats, they should be doing that as well. As you're preparing, I want Rhode Islanders to know, we will continue to provide you with the most up-to-date information that we have, every step of the way. Over the next 24 hours, information is key. Please stay informed. Keep your eyes on the local news, and we appreciate the media being here today to deliver this important message. And follow my office and the Rhode Island Emergency Management on social media. With that, I'll turn it over to Director Pappas. Director?
Thank you very much, Governor. As you've just heard the Governor outline, Hurricane Henri is now a Category 1 storm and is tracking just to the west of Rhode Island. This puts Rhode Island on the side of the storm, which is the strongest wind side of the storm. The right front and right side quadrant of that storm is the strongest wind side. So we can expect storm surge and power outages due to heavy winds. We're monitoring the weather and our infrastructure very closely. This is an ever-evolving situation. The cone vacillates back and forth constantly. And even a slight change in the track can have a big impact on the state of Rhode Island. Just a short time ago, we convened a call with all municipalities, provided them with an update, and walked through each community's questions. We also convened a call with the Governor's Cabinet to walk through all the agencies' disaster emergency response plans. I want to emphasize that this is not just coastal communities that are impacted, but an entire state. Storms of this magnitude can extend from the coast out several hundred miles, so we all really need to heed the warnings and prepare. Our message this afternoon is that please finish your storm preparations tonight. I can't underscore that enough. You do not want to be out doing preparations during the onset of tropical storm force winds. There are checklists available on the Rhode Island Emergency Management website. Even if you've lived through these storms before, many of us have, review your plan again. Take the time to talk to your family and make sure everything is accurate and up to date. Please stay informed. Pay attention to emergency alerts and information that may come out. Continue to follow local news, REMA on social media, and sign up for Code Red messaging. Code Red's a valuable tool. When you sign up, you get text and email alerts on the REMA website, which is rema.ri.gov. If you or anyone in your household is an individual with a disability, identify if you may need additional help during an emergency. You may have to evacuate quickly due to a hurricane, so make sure you know where you live. Make sure you know your evacuation zones and routes. If you must go to a community or group shelter, remember to follow the latest recommendations from the Centers of Disease Control for protecting yourself and your family from COVID-19. Be sure to review your previous evacuation plan, as I said, and consider alternate options. Maintain physical distancing to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and update your plan accordingly. We continue to monitor the storm and the situation closely. The best way to stay informed is to follow the Governor, REMA, social media, the news, and sign up for Code Red, as I said before. One thing I would like to also mention is that we just were in contact with United Way 211. If you have questions related to the storm, call 211, and you'll be afforded the ability to get questions answered that way as well. So I'll pause there and open it up for any questions.
Director Pappas, how in the last, we were just here 24 hours ago, how do you think the forecast has changed? Do you think it's gotten, are you more worried about it now, less worried, just as worried, and has there anything in particular that's changed in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, sure. So the storm has moved a little bit to the west. That puts us in the high wind area. So not as much rain inland. more storm surge along the coast and heavy winds, which is going to create power outage. We know it's going to do that. And so all the trees have leaves, and it makes it more susceptible for more power outage. So I'd say as much as concerned today as I was yesterday.
Is there a concern in terms of a particular time when you're expecting peak winds, say, in greater Providence area?
Yeah, good question. So sometime just after sunrise tomorrow, the worst expected to be around 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Is the, on a side note, will the casino be closed this evening and tomorrow?
The casino? I haven't heard that, but I will check and get back to you. I'm not sure if anyone on the team knows that. The plans are in place to work with the Army Corps and the City of Providence to work on that. I don't have an ETA on that. Sometimes they test it a couple times. There's pumps that have to happen, so if there's backflow coming from rain inside, they test those pumps. So I don't have the exact ETA, but I know the plan's in place to do so.
Has the Coast Guard deployed additional resources for boaters offshore and/or boaters who might be in trouble?
Not that I'm aware of at this time.
Is there anything else that you need from the federal government right now? Anything that you're most worried about right now that we don't have?
Actually, FEMA's been very good. They sent us a emergency management assistance team. They'll be arriving within a couple of hours. They sent a mobile response vehicle, which should be here very, very soon. They sent us a swiftwater rescue team, and they've been really great partners. We've gotten everything so far that we've needed.
What are you most worried about right now?
Power outage for sure. Not so worried about storm inundation surge. It's about 3 to 5 feet projected right now. If it stays there, we're okay. But, you know, that strong wind mixed with those trees and saturated ground, we could see some pretty strong power outages.
Director, what kind of recovery period would you expect for widespread power outages?
You know, I have Terry Sobolewski here from National Grid. He could speak to restoration times. Thank you.
Question for you,
Excuse me.
Director. In terms of the storm surge, during Sandy, wasn't it about a 5-foot storm surge that was storming there?
That's about right.
So as Director Pappas said, we do expect very significant outages with this event, particularly given the combination of the foliage on the trees, the saturation that we've had to date, and the high winds that are predicted. And we do expect those outages to be throughout the state. Certainly the highest winds will be in the coastal areas, but we also know the central and northern part of the state is very susceptible to tree damage as well and high winds. This will be a multi-day event, which means that it'll take probably a good 12 to 24 hours to get through all of our damage assessment before we can even begin to post estimated times of restoration. And then after that, we'll be deploying both internal and contractor or out-of-state resources that we have procured to make sure that we're ready to respond to the storm. So at this point in time, it's really difficult to predict what that restoration period would be until we actually see where the damage on the system is. But again, I would just encourage folks to understand this will be a multi-day event.
How far out of state, given the uncertainty as to where the hurricane is actually going to land and the impact, how far out of state are those resources being pulled?
So far from states throughout the Northeast, contract resources have been pulled in through the North Atlantic Mutual Aid Group. That's a key industry organization where utilities coordinate to make sure that we can move resources to the most critical areas as needed. We have put out requests beyond that, and we'll see what resources will be available, particularly as communities up and down the East Coast understand the final impact that they're going to see. And so those crews and those resources will be adjusted throughout the next few days.
Are they going to be in a particular area of, say, Connecticut, central Massachusetts? Where are you pulling them physically?
Well, all of the utilities put in combined requests, and so each utility is responsible for their allocation of resources. As you would imagine, utilities through here in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New York, particularly in Long Island, all of those are the areas that we're anticipating to be hardest hit at this point in time. And those utilities are working very closely together to procure resources from that area and beyond.
Have you been able to stage teams for mutual assistance closer to where we're going to be affected in the South Coast, especially if those teams are coming from places like Quebec Power?
Yes, we have. We expect the first waves of resources to be in throughout the day today, this evening, and into tomorrow morning. And then we would expect additional crews and resources to become available throughout the event. Of course, we're also very careful and cautious about traveling during the event, and so we'll have to be wary of that. But we will have, crews in between now and tomorrow morning, and then additional crews tomorrow evening and beyond.
Is there a number attached to how many resources you have?
So far, we have 230 line crews, over 100 forestry crews, and more than 1,000 personnel standing by across Rhode Island.
Governor McKee, you said Rhode Islanders starting at midnight should stay home. Is that a formal order right now? Should they also stay off the roads? What are the
I'll let the colonel speak to that. I mean, he's the one who's talking, certainly you're going to let people know. But right now, we're saying, strongly recommending, and we're requesting that people stay home from midnight tonight to till Monday. And I'll have the colonel. On the utility issue, that was a direct conversation I had with the president. And we know that the recovery has been slow at times, but I believe that he's going to he told us that he would make a call. By the way, it was not just our state, it was the governors in general, that he was going to make a call to the utilities so that to activate those states that are not going to be impacted by this hurricane to stand ready. So we expect that additional resources will come in over and above what was just explained. The colonel can talk about the issue in terms of the stay-at-home issue.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor. One thing the state police has noticed today has been past few hours is a large influx of motor vehicles coming from the north down to the south, Route 4, Route 1, which contradicts what we've been asking for. We would think we would have seen a large number of vehicles heading northbound on Route 4, Route 1, but instead there's been traffic jams from 95 all the way to South County. As a result of that, state police is requesting, I've contacted most of the chiefs so far personally, that the municipalities restrict access to roads in the coastal areas to residents only at midnight tonight. This will allow all first responders, fire and police, as well as the DOT, National Grid, and state police to respond to do their job. We're trying to minimize the number of people coming into the South County areas, the coastal areas, from sightseeing, which we've had issues in the past. There have been people swept out into the ocean, especially the Narragansett area. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Colonel Manning, what exactly is the policy going to be if people decide to go sightseeing? Are they going to be stopped? Are they going to be ticketed? Are they going to be told to turn around? Well, right now, this is a voluntary request by the municipalities, but I've had assurances from the chiefs and town managers in these coastal areas that they will be restricting access to the high visibility roads, namely Ocean Road in Matunic, Westerly, and Jamestown.